Yo, what is up, everyone? It's Unruly here, and welcome to the first episode of the Final Ring Report. This is the first episode of a news series that I would like to start and continue to shine a little bit of light on the Apex Legends competitive scene, primarily in the North American region, for that is where I have my most knowledge in, and I have competed in myself. And I just wanted to really speak my thoughts on the up-and-coming winter circuit for the ALGS. A lot of things have changed recently as the coming 2020 year has ended. A lot of roster changes, a lot of hype moving into the new winter circuit and the playoffs with a $1 million prize pool. So a lot of things are coming into Apex Legends competitive and is changing, and I definitely wanted to share my knowledge and bring light to the scene. As you can see on the right here, we have today's topics. We have the hot zone. We have 4 topics that I will be going over with. Then we'll break down my prediction, and then the final circle where I recap everything and ask you guys questions. You guys will be able to comment down below, tag me on my Twitter, and I will answer those questions in the next episode. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first topic I really wanted to touch on, that one is definitely up in the air, and that is the new NRG roster coming into it. I actually have all the notes here. So at the end of the beginning of January, end of 2020, Frex and Moore do leave NRG Apex. So Frex is still competing. Moore does not compete, but Frex is a free agent for Apex Legends, and they sign Sweet, who was previously on Rogue, January 7th. So that leaves the roster of Nathan, Rocker, and Sweet. Now, when this first happened, a lot of people were speculating Sweet joining after the fall of the Rogue roster. That's a topic we're going to break down as well. A lot of people were skeptical about it. I was skeptical, of course, because the reason Frex didn't re-sign with his contract going out also, there was a role issue with leading the team. Granted, they didn't do too bad at all. Ending the 2020 season, they placed 12th in the Autumn Circuit, number 4, and then they placed 6th in playoffs. So that's not bad. Obviously, they could do much better, but if they're having a IGL problem, fighting over who's calling the shots or whatnot, then that's an issue. They did not do bad, though. Their latest win was November 18th, and that was in the E-Series Pro Tournament, number 4. So that's not too bad. But other than that, a solid end of the year for NRG. With Sweet joining the roster now as their in-game leader, I think it's going to be very interesting. I believe that Rocker and Nathan both co-IGL a lot, so it's going to be interesting to see if they do take a back seat in this lineup and listen to what Sweet has to say. He's the more experienced player in the scene after all. But it's just something that, egos can clash. Egos can definitely clash in teams and in esports and in high-pressured environments. And it's just something that I was very skeptical about whenever they signed Sweet. So that's something we're going to look forward to. Do I think that they're going to do well? Once they mesh together, I think they're going to be a really, really solid roster. I mean, before the fall of Rogue was a really stand-up team. Very stand-up team. They didn't win a lot. Like, they're not like the TSM hype, but they were definitely a force to be reckoned with. They were definitely a threat in the lobby. And then with Sweet dropped and Snipedown, they were pretty lethal. Now, of course, Snipedown did move over to TSM after Abrolele stepped down. Now he's back playing for Liquid, but that's on another thing. Next topic I wanted to talk about was Complexity. Complexity, I think, are back. I think they're back in full swing. With Reptar, Monsoon, and iShiny. These guys, since dropping Lou, these guys have been a very formidable roster. It almost seems like there wasn't even a change, so to speak. They're very aggressive, very, very aggressive team. A lot of kill points going their way. Definitely a very good team fighting team. And they went back-to-back in the ALGS Autumn Circuit. So going back into November, they placed third in online tournament number 3. They placed first in online tournament number 4, beating out TSM and Solafide. And then they won the playoffs. So they are your back-to-back Autumn Circuit winners. And they just don't show any signs of stopping. Very aggressive team. I think that they're going to continue this momentum going into the Winter Circuit. Very, 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 very strong team. Very complexity as a roster has always been an up in your face. They have Gibby Bloodhound. They're the main reason why the Bloodhound meta before his buff was a thing. So Gibby Bubble, Wraith Portals, Bloodhound. Very aggressive team. Very aggressive team. And with the likes of Shiny in there now, they are a very formidable team. And I'm very excited to see what's up. How they do. They have actually overtaken the number 1 seed in the NA over TSM in pro points. And so far they've had a lot better of a results as a team than TSM as of lately since picking up Snipedown. Now, a big question that is up in the air now is the next topic of what's up with Rogue. They actually lost their entire Apex Legends roster. Their entire Apex roster. Snipedown left. Lou was filling in for them, I believe. And then that was it. Contracts didn't get re-signed with Dropped and Sweet. And now Dropped is a free agent that I know of, and Sweet is now playing for NRG. So, what's up with Rogue? Are they signing a new team? Are they exiting a professional Apex Legends? Do I believe that there's probably a top AM team looking to sign with them? Sure, I'll take it. I believe that if they're not dropping out, they're going to pick up a next top AM team, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, the last topic here that I want to bring up is Lou standing in for CLG. Let's bring up CLG here. We got Madness, Pow Pow, and Vaxlon. With latest mental health problems, Pow Pow has stepped down and will not be competing in the Winter Circuit number 1 tournament. And Lou will be in his place. So, Lou, in my opinion, is a very stand-up player. He has been doing a lot of standing in and subbing lately, so he seems to be a very flexible player. Now, coming from the Complexity lineup, he can be very aggressive. So, he can pretty much fit any team's play style. You just need to get a bunch of reps in. And with CLG's latest results, coming off of they're no stranger to winning Community Cups. GLL Community Cups, they're doing a very fantastic job with that. Their latest win was in December 30th with the Esports Arena Series. They did win number 8, and then before that they placed 3rd. So they're doing a pretty stand-up job with that new roster since Noko and Nicewig leaving, although they weren't really on the competitive side of things. But now that I have Lou, I think that with Lou standing in for them, they are going to be a much more confident and aggressive team. With CLG, I believe they were more conservative. They could be aggressive if they wanted to. Madness is not afraid to get in somebody's face. And with his Young Buck team, with Vaxlon and Pow Pow, they weren't afraid to get in the face, but they were also very good at sitting back and playing position, placement, and getting themselves in the final zone. They are a very well-rounded roster. I think with Lou standing in, they are going to be more aggressive. With Lou coming from Complexity and being one of the more experienced players on that team, I think he's going to complement Madness's aggressive style very well. And I believe that they're going to put up a lot more KP than they are going to essentially focus on placement. Now, that being said, they also did a really good job in the Summer Circuit. Very good job in there. The last chance qualifier for Autumn Circuit, they placed 11th. They did not do very well, But they were able to bounce back in the esports series. Now, granted, those are top AM teams, mixed in with lower end teams, but you can't discount accolades. I think CLG will get their identity back, and with Lou standing in for Pow Pow as he's taking that much needed mental health break, I think they're going to be a lot more aggressive, and they're going to take it to the house. My prediction for the Winter Series Online Tournament 1, I'm going to give you 3 names of Complexity, TSM, and Solo Fide. Okay, and we're going to break down each of them. TSM, they are finding their identity again. I believe they're getting right in the thick of it with Snipedown. I think with acquiring Snipedown, he's a very aggressive player. So he definitely complemented the aggressive play styles similar to Complexity. Rogue was very aggressive as well. A very confident team. So you got to kind of put Snipedown on a leash, is what a lot of people have said with Hal. But I think that if you give Snipe some slack, he's going to make up for it in kills. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're bringing in the new year with. They ended 2020 with 4th place in E-Series Tournament 8. They got 3rd in the ALGS playoffs. I actually broke that down with my stream. Very, very, very close. I think if they were to block one of Complexity's rotations off the next game afterwards, like they did inside of Geyser, they would have won. Before that, 4th place in the E-Series tournament again, and before that, this is the month of December, they won the Realm Summit Series Grand Finals. So they found themselves in a very consistent spot in December, ending October with wins in Realm Series and Autumn Circuit number 3, and then some shaky placements here and there. They got 2nd in ALGS Autumn Circuit 4. So they have been very solid since picking up Snipedown. Do I think that they're completely going to, out of the question, they're going to win? No, I don't believe so. I think that they still need a little bit more time to perfect their style. I've been watching their scrims. I've been watching their streams lately. They're figuring out their identity with Legends. And it's something that TSM has actually struggled with since they lost their winning streak. Focusing on a lot of different things other than just changing the small things. Legends, player lineup. I don't think Abralele was the problem when it came to that team. But you got to respect the decisions he's made. He switched over to Valorant for the time being, and then he's back to competitive Apex with Liquid. That roster's doing pretty well. I think they're still figuring out their identity, getting more reps in. But TSM is one of my picks for the online circuit for Winter 1. And then Complexity. Complexity, like I said, they're back-to-back. They have established themselves. I think that they're going to dominate. I think they're going to rack up a lot of kills. I think they got enough reps in with Shiny that they're going to have no problem taking 3-on-3s. I think that their placings since then, since dated to August, they have been very consistent. First, second, third places. Their worst placement in the past 3 months was 15th in Autumn Circuit 2. But it didn't matter because they won the 4th one and they won playoffs. So you can't even really discount that, you know? So I think that they are definitely in there. I would probably put them up there as the winner. But as competitive Apex is, there's always variables and discrepancies that happen, and you can't place consistent all the time. What TSM did was definitely in the history books. And then the third team that I strongly believe that could do it all would be Solafide's Designful, Resulta, and Gentrify, formerly Team Aim Assist. These guys are really, really good as a controller team. Going back into November, they won Realm Summit Series, week 5. They won the Nerd Street Invitational. And then in the tournaments afterwards, they had a little bit of a slump. ALGS Autumn Circuit 4, they placed 9th. Esports Arena, which are basically scrims for the most part for these pro teams. Top 15 placement, not their hottest. Realm Series afterwards for the grand finals, they got 12th. Every team falls into that slump. I'm still very confident in this team. And then Autumn Circuit Playoffs number 2, Autumn Circuit Playoffs, they got 2nd behind Complexity. It was definitely a race for the money. They did a very good job afterwards. Since starting 2021, with the esports arenas, they won number 9. And then the weekly for that one, the day after for Open, they got 1st and 9th in the finals. So I strongly believe that Solifide Aim Assist is definitely a team to look out for, potentially win this first winter circuit. TSM is always there. They're still figuring it out, though. Do I think it's guaranteed? No. Do I think they're capable of doing it? Absolutely. And then, of course, Complexity. They're coming off the back-to-back momentum. Very strong, aggressive team. I'm 100% confident that they have enough reps and practicing with Shiny that they are going to be overtaking TSM's throne. And that's going to do it for today's this episode, of the final ring report. Once the winter circuit is over, it is going on from the 15th to the 17th. Once that's over, I'll be breaking everything down here. Final ring report. I will break down all the games, teams that have done very well, teams that didn't do very well, things that could have changed. And if you guys have any questions down below, underneath me, if you got questions, tag me on Twitter at @AUnruly or use hashtag the final ring report. I'll gladly be answering those. Again, the question segment will be in the next episode. Appreciate everyone who stops by and watches, and I will catch you guys later.